Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Taking a quick look here at Injective. This is a request from one of our community members. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Jojo. Yeah, thanks Jojo for the request. Greatly appreciate that. Also, congrats to our community members here for some nice profits here from Bitcoin. Hit our first profit target there at about 27% in roughly 5 days. We're waiting on Solana. Solana's actually a little bit trailing behind, but we are way in the green considering we averaged our price down. So it's really looking good here in that sense. So definitely looking good in the overall picture. What we want to look here at in Injective is kind of some big picture stuff. Speaking of pictures, let's go ahead and take a quick look here at the back-end data and kind of just double check a few things. This is the last 7 days look back. And if we look at this here, we can see that there's a lot more liquidation below the price action than above, but actually not really. Correction. When you look at this here, there's a heavy concentration at about $30.30, but there's also a pretty strong accumulation about 35.6. So we're pretty much smack dab in the middle of that, but we are testing this lower range of that upper liquidity level. So probably a stronger chance we're going to see the $35 mark retested. It makes a lot more sense, especially considering Bitcoin cranked up past 44K. If we can hold 44,000 for the next 2 or 3 days leading into the weekend, folks, this is going to be a nice solid green weekend. In fact, we might even see green altcoins all the way through until the weekend, and maybe you can see the reverse action too. Hard to say specifically, but generally speaking, this weekend should be pretty good for us, pending Bitcoin doesn't pull any obnoxious yank back. But again, the upper level liquidity has been swept. We'll see what happens, folks. So at this point, all the more reason to just kind of, I wouldn't say pump the brakes, but just relax and calm down if you miss this increase. Decent chances you'll probably be able to get in again. And what I mean by that here is we kind of zoom in a little bit here. This is just the hourly. We'll look at the larger time frames. We're getting closer to the end of this little wave here, right? So for lack of better terms, this is the top at about 33.50. We could see a lower high and a lower low and one more lower high. Okay, so that's generally the concept there. All right, anyways, that's kind of how Elliott Wave works there, but generally speaking, we're going to look at the larger time frames, work our way down. Once more, if you're not new to the channel, thank you so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, welcome aboard. I love teaching people how to trade. So let's see what's going on here. We got this 0.382 fib level right there at about $34. I'm rounding down, but $34 is the rough estimate for that next key resistance for us. Okay, so the price continues higher. We can expect some resistance there based on the fact that we have a decent amount of volume accumulated at that zone too. So keep that in mind. But if we take a look at some moving averages here, we're just below the 50 and the 20. So by no means is this coin back on track, but it's just kind of this shift in momentum that we're seeing. Same thing happened with Bitcoin too. We finally broke through a key level resistance. Now some things can continue to happen. But you do want to be careful in situations like this because prices can absolutely pull back, especially if Bitcoin decides to do the same thing itself. MACD trying to converge, hasn't yet. Stochastic RSI is converging. That's really the only indication that we're back on track here on the daily. Everything else is still pretty bearish when we come to being below 50 in the RSI. So until we're up over $34 as a rough estimate, I don't think we're going to have much of a leg to stand on here, or just, I wouldn't say that we're in good shape here to see the price continue to run because of it. Okay, so just please be careful with INJ at this moment. This coin is really literally the only stop loss we had last month. Okay, and that was just the way it works. It was kind of just bad luck, but generally speaking, had a very profitable month. 1,600% isn't too shabby, but the truth is this coin, some people are a little gun shy with this coin. I totally get it. We just had a kind of a bad fill. The price dropped instantly as soon as we took the trade, and that does happen sometimes. So keep in mind, you're not alone. As soon as you enter a trade and it turns around, that's completely normal, right, folks? Now, again, there's a lot of reasons and ways to avoid that, but for right now, let's just double check and confirm something on the 4-hour time frame. Even no matter what time frame you look at, we got this lower level here, this 0.2236 level here, Fibonacci. Basically, what that's doing is telling us that $33 is a resistance level. Okay, price wicked up, hasn't closed above. Till we can get above this level here at about 33.30, which coincidentally was a previous support level, if you recall that from before. That's the new resistance. So closing above that is extremely important. So if you can kind of see this here a little bit more clear, it was the most recent resistance. Price just kind of got stuck on stupid at that point, and now it's right there at the moving average. So not really in phenomenal shape here for this coin. Yes, it looks nice, all well and good. It pumped a little bit, but I wouldn't say you're out of the woods yet. We are over 50 on the RSI, so if today's candlestick closes right here and now, we could actually have somewhat support level there for the price to continue higher. Just know we're kind of maxed out on stochastic, so it would make sense for the price to correct itself a little bit. And a logical next step for pivot is this most recent high here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reattempts before it broke through 32.20. So in a perfect world, the price pulls back to 32.20, and we get entry there before the next leg up. Again, that could be the beginning of the ABC pattern according to smaller time frames here, so please understand there could be further correction to the downside here coming. So there's that as well, but the simple way to understand it is that we're looking for a lower high, lower low, and another lower high. Or sorry, 2 lower lows and a lower high. You know what I'm saying there. Either way, this would be a perfect pivot there right off of that 32.20. Is it going to come down that low? Hard to say. It just depends on Bitcoin on a lot of ways, but generally speaking, we have a lot of resistances above us. Last thing I want to look at here would be the Ichimoku Cloud. We can confirm once more, big surprise, that level right there, specifically based on volume, $32, and I'm going to round up and say 32.30 because that's more realistic. That's the level right there where the upper lead is on the cloud. Okay, so the price does pull back, sweet spot to enter there. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and set an alert right at the most recent high here at about 32.50 to see if that might be a possibility to consider a long at that point. We may not come down to that level, but if it does, I'll be happy to see that. I have alerts too set on a lot of different coins right now. Gala and Sandbox are 2 of those, but they since took off because Bitcoin cranked past 44K. So we might be in a situation where we might not even see any of these alerts get triggered and the prices just keep going up. There's that too. But for right now, I would much rather wait for a pullback that never happens than to get in late at the top and to long the top before it pulls back. That's just kind of where I'm at. So hopefully that made sense and I described this correctly. Thank you so much again for watching. I hope you learned something today. Make sure you check out our Bitunix exchange, phenomenal exchange. We're registered with them or affiliated with them mainly because they offer no KYC or VPNs as a requirement, but also healthy rewards if you use my link to register. You're also eligible for future trading competitions if you decide to use my link. We are going to have those at the end of the month, heads up. They're going to be adding over 200 trading pairs in the next couple months. So it's going to be a really phenomenal situation here for us. We're primed and ready to go. Thanks again, Bitunix, and thank you too for watching. Hope you like, subscribe, and follow. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.